Hey, welcome back to the SBP podcast, Mobile Filmmaking. I'm your host, Susy Botello, and you're listening to episode 215.
We are Fade into Film.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the SBP podcast. We are here with our good friend. You may remember him, Justin Ho. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm pretty exhausted, but I'm still alive.
You're exhausted. Hey, you know what? It's been 12 days since I was at Comic-Con in San Diego. And I want to share with you that on the 27th of July, I was in the same room with George Lucas.
Yes. I mean, that's insane.
And Guillermo del Toro as well.
That is right. And there was a third person. I forgot his name.
There is yes, his name is Doug Chiang.
Right, yep.
He is not a film director. But yeah, these three, I mean, it was such a great panel. But I have to give a shout out to the reason why I was there. If that's all right with you, what do you say, Justin? So I was on this panel. I got invited to a panel. It was probably the most exciting panel I've ever been on.
Oh yeah.
I have to tell you that I felt like I joined a rock band.
I mean, yeah.
And I was like the new member.
George Lucas there and Guillermo del Toro.
Well, no, but the panel I was in was not that one. Okay, just no, it wasn't really mine either. But I was participating in this panel. But yeah, no, this was like I joined a rock band because it was like they had photographers and all this stuff, and they were awesome and fun. Mm-hmm. But they were also, I was like, wow, you really want me on this panel? I mean, we're talking about, the panel was called How to Bring Your Stories to Life from Page to Live Action.
Oh, yeah.
And it was presented by Surreal Arts, Little Brainstorm, and Visual Effects Society, the Texas section. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give a shout out to the names just because I want them to hear how grateful and appreciative I was of the way that they treated me. And one more very important thing that I think is very important, Justin, how they embrace mobile filmmaking as a storytelling way to tell stories through film.
That's right.
Because these guys, we're talking about Emmy Award winners here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Mark Nazal and Sina, they were multi-nominated for Emmy Awards, and they won. So that's pretty awesome. Let me give you the names: Mark Nazal, Lorran Garrison, Sina, and Earl Baylon, and this guy was a lot of fun. Alan Chan, he was a blast. I had him put his hands on, the Zacuto rig that I brought to the film festival. Yeah. With that boom microphone that you loved so much.
It was just protruding off the top. And
Yep. And I filmed some cosplayers and stuff.
Yeah.
I interviewed some people and,
that's so cool.
I just got to edit some videos, but yeah, it was just a lot of fun being there. I just wanted to give those guys a shout out because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be there. And I got to give a shout out to Aaron Nabuz, our ambassador, because, these are friends of his from all the stuff that he does with comics and his podcast and his event and all that stuff with the Filipino-American community in Southern California. So anyway.
It's awesome that you got to speak on a panel at Comic-Con. That's one of my sort of life goals is to be able to do that.
Well, my life goal would be to have a panel about storytelling and film and bring people like you into it. Because I think one of the things that I keep trying to do is to tell people you're an indie filmmaker if you're a smartphone filmmaker.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you really are. It's just, so these two groups that weren't really, how should I say this, really well connected before, now are more well connected, because all of them, you have independent film festivals, right, that are accepting films shot with phones. Don't you have one? Any more of these film festivals that are not mobile film festivals that are accepting your film?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not like, they're not going to accept it. If it, for the most part, when people watch it, they don't even notice.
But do they compete with all the other films, or they're in a separate section?
Oh no, it's all the same.
There's a combination.
It's all the same.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing about it now compared to before, that they're more accepted, you know? And of course, we give you guys extra kudos and attention as mobile filmmakers.
Right.
You're like the celebrities. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Do you have any news on your end that you'd like to share
about
before we go into our other
about my film?
Yes, because your film is freaking awesome.
Thank you. Well, thank you for screening it. That entire experience was awesome.
Thanks for winning our film
thank
festivals.
You for making my film win. I appreciate it a lot.
I did not do that. That was you.
Well, there's a lot of great films there. I really enjoyed
there were.
Watching all of everyone's together. And I said it there. I said it at my acceptance speech thing. And I felt like I was in college again, which was really nice. Right now, I did screen a couple of weeks ago in New York City. It was the Queens Film Festival, which was really nice. It was not a small festival, but it had a pretty good turnout. And I didn't really do much marketing because I got really lazy. So I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised a lot of people went and ended up winning Best Feature there also.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Thanks. And
thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you. No, because the reason I thank people like you is because you inspire more people like you. Okay? We can't have enough films.
Thank
you.
You.
So anyway, go on. Sorry.
No worries. Well, now the next festival that's coming up is one in Barcelona. It's called Love and Hope Film Festival, I believe. And I don't know when exactly it's screening, but the festival runs October 1st to the 4th, and I'll be there. So one of those days.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
It'll screen. So, and it is nominated for Best Feature. So we'll see. Doesn't matter.
Well, Love and Hope. Yeah. I mean, Love and Hope. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a right fit. Definitely. You know what else is the right fit, Justin?
What?
Having George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, at Comic-Con for the first time ever.
I remember when you posted that, and I too was not aware that he didn't do Comic-Con before.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was like, how come? I'm sure he's been invited.
Right.
I'm assuming that why would he not be invited? Mm-hmm. Maybe he was busy every time they invited him. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how come he wasn't
being
there.
George Lucas, I'm sure he just didn't want to be swarmed by fans or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't blame him if he didn't want to, deal with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that he finally did, though.
Yeah.
And that when he finally did, I was walking by. I was heading towards the back section of the convention because they have all these other exhibits and things there too, and there are lots of fun. where the boats are and all this stuff. Wow. There was a pirate ship there, and I'm on my way there. Yeah, and I'm on my way there, and they said the security guard yelled something at somebody behind me, and I kind of eavesdropped a little bit. I'm all like, wait, what did you say? And he said, yeah, there's room. It's not full in the Hall H, for the thing. Hall H is the one that always does the celebrities.
Yeah.
It's the big one, right? So whatever it was, I was like, really? I should just go ahead and walk in there then. So by the time you get around all these little things, I walked in there, and on the way in, I was asking a couple of people, like, so what's the panel that's going on in there? And they're like, oh, it's like the Star Wars one. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I I'm getting closer and I'm going, wait, is that the one that George Lucas is going to be there? And he's like, he's already there. He's already here. I'm like, oh my God, open that door.
Wow.
And I walked in there and they were like, yeah, sit wherever you like. But of course, there's like a very front, you know, the gold membered section. Right. And speaking of gold, that's where Dude Vader, the cosplayer from, you know, our film festival, he was right there front and center. Because he gets permission. He gets permission from George Lucas and everything for his outfit. Sure. He's very, so he was honored with that, I guess. Awesome. And that's awesome. But yeah, I just felt like, you know, what a great thing to just sort of stumble into.
The fact that you didn't even know, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know if that's brilliant that I didn't know. Kind of sounds like an oxymoron in a way, but...
It was spontaneous. It was serendipitous.
It was definitely, it felt like fate or something, you know, just being there. And then listening to him.
Whoa, yeah. And thinking, I can't imagine seeing him in the flesh, you know, in real time.
Yeah, well, okay, so he could have been a little Lego figure from where I was sitting.
True. I mean, I saw, who did I see like that? Martin Scorsese. I saw Martin Scorsese as a little dot at a Q&A once. So,
but you share. They're all breathing the same energy air.
Exactly.
That's the whole
molecules
thing.
You breathed out, he breathed in, and vice versa.
And there was something that he said, and I was the only one clapping because you know there were a few times when I was like, you know, I got really excited and I initiated the clapping session for a few things.
There we go.
But there was one time I clapped so hard and I was the only one clapping. I'm like, yeah, at the end. It was just me in the whole room that clapped and I don't remember what it was.
Nice.
I don't think I hear it in the video though, like that one lone little. Anyway, so I asked you to listen to this panel because it was so inspiring. I couldn't stop thinking about it for days.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of a better person. And I'm sorry if I'm offending all my other guests, but I couldn't think of a better person than you to have, you know, to share a conversation and a discussion about the message that they sent us and some of the things that stand out for you. So before we go any further, let's play a commercial. I'm just kidding. We don't do that. Before we go any further, gather your thoughts. I'll let you start and lead the conversation on a few things that you thought were pretty special. What was your impression overall first?
My impression overall. I mean, it was just really cool listening to Lucas and Del Toro. And I'm sorry, I forgot the third guy's name, but just all their different, you know.
Doug Chiang.
There you go. Talking about this museum. First of all, great marketing for the museum because the next time I'm in LA, if I'm ever in LA again, I will go check that museum out. And
right.
I mean, that one thing that made me laugh super hard, George Lucas said it. Because I said the same exact thing before. When I was in high school, I used to love sketching city skylines, you know, drawing buildings and things like that. It was all throughout my agenda book. When I should be paying attention to, you know, the teacher in class, I'd just be sketching these cityscapes. And there was a moment where I wanted to get into architecture. I was still making movies, but I was thinking, I don't know, maybe being an architect is more lucrative and, you know, easier to get a job. Fortunately, I didn't go that direction because just like what George Lucas said, I found out that math was involved and I said, nope. And so when he said that, I was in the car.
That happened to me with graphic arts at first too. Like, oh no, I don't want to deal with that.
Once he found, because I'm terrible at math. So I was listening to it in the car and I bursted out laughing when he said that. I had no idea George Lucas wanted to be an architect as well and had the same exact reason why he decided not to go that direction. So it's things like that, you know, when you have people you idolize that have similar experiences and
what he said about anthropology totally connected with me because I had always in high school I attended an anthropology class and I had no idea that I was into that. And so when he mentioned that, I was like, yeah, the study of humanity really is what it is, and culture.
Yeah, and George Lucas, with all the Star Wars films, essentially covers a lot of that.
And sociology, and I mean, that's all connected to the stories and the storytelling, building worlds and characters. And you're good at this too.
Oh, well, thanks, I try.
Well, you're good with the psychology, of it too.
Right. But, they all spoke about how art brings people together, and that's the key part of humanity. It's we are such a social species, and we survived because we were able to group together and form packs and hunt together and communicate with each other. So art is such a
yes, the art of hunting.
The art of hunting. The art of setting a play-by-play of where to go. But it's art is key to. They said it on the panel to communicating. It's universal for the most part. Obviously you have foreign language films and stuff and all this and that, but it's still universal whilst being very personal and subjective, which is sort of this beautiful, dichotomy of almost molecular, having your upspin, downspin of the quarks. I don't even remember quantum mechanics, how you have superposition states of things that are both dead or alive, and you could look at an art and one person could love it, and another person could be like, nah, not my thing. But
it's the perspective.
Yeah, but it's both.
I was reading into that, and I think like our reactions. They were talking about emotion, as art. And I thought it was kind of funny because he said, don't let anybody tell you what art is, but art is emotion. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's really hard not to say it, right? Like because it's what you feel.
Yes.
Like there is no clear definition, but it is the feeling. But see, the feels come after perspective. Like it's almost like perspective is the main ingredient to any story, right? Like, do you agree with that?
Yeah, yes. I mean, the film I made has a bunch of different perspectives.
Right. And I think that's why you can tell a story, the same story from 100 people in 100 different ways.
And it's all been told though. Like the hero's journey is just such an ingrained, not archaic, I can't think of words right now. I'm really tired. But the hero's journey is ancient. It's ancient and ingrained into everything. And
he was talking about mythology.
And obviously, I remember mythology. Yeah. But Lucas jumped on the hero's journey with Star Wars. But mythology for sure. Creating stories that we could relate to and pass down and inspire. That's what brings people together.
I think one of the things that Guillermo was saying, I literally wrote this down because I wanted to quote him, and I don't want to quote somebody and then screw that up. But he said, stories shape the world.
Oh, yeah.
When he said that, like, I felt tickles, like that tingly feeling all over me.
Tingling.
And there was this girl sitting next to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I think they're listening to my podcast. But it's all of us. It's an awareness that a lot of artists have.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have it. And sometimes we just need to just sit down with our hearts, connect our brains. Yeah. And the answers are all there.
Yeah. That's the hard part. At least for me, when there's people I know who love writing and could just go out there and write things and get paid to write things. I don't know if I could ever really do that because I need to have a really deep personal connection to something that really hits me at a personal level to be motivated to write a script and that's
why you write it, the motivation, right? You don't want I think money, right? When people get paid for something, it's almost like here's your motivation,
right.
But it's also kind of like I'd rather get paid after so that I don't feel the pressure.
This is true,
I mean, I do graphics and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like it's not the same. It's not the same because they're going to want to change this. They're going to want to change that.
When you're working for someone else, obviously. 100%.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's you have to find what's at the core of all of it, and that could be difficult, and it could take quite a while. But personally, just the way I work, once I do find it, I don't exactly realize. Sometimes I realize when it clicks, but sometimes once it clicks, and I'm able to move forward.
So, Guillermo del Toro and George Lucas, right? And then there was Doug Chiang. So each one of them brought a little piece of storytelling as a community, as a uniter.
Yeah.
For artists and for people, community, our stories. I mean, look, they went there to promote this museum that he's building in LA. I'm stalling here because I'm looking for the name of the museum. It's called the Lucas Museum.
Oh, there we go.
Of narrative art.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
I found it. And it's what they were talking about, narrative art, and then they were combining the visual art. Right?
Yeah.
And these terminologies seem to be kind of new, but they all, in the end, it's all art. And I myself feel like everything is stories and everything is art. And then there's a little bit of everything else we'd like to call things like science and I don't know. But to me, because that's where I come from my perspective, and my perspective is connected to all the experiences I've lived through and to all the experiences that other people have lived through that I have experienced through them, through their perspective and their eyes.
Yes.
And I think this is the mechanics of humanity, and the connection between us is what helps us with empathy.
Yes.
And I think this disconnection, I really do believe that their message of how art brings us together is the key to get back to where we should be.
Right.
Right. I don't know what you think, but I mean, I just thought their overall message was really interesting in regards to that. And it seemed like they were also talking about the access of the storytelling and how, like I always tell people, the power of storytelling is worth more than all the money in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's communication,
But sometimes you go, if the wrong people are telling the stories,
you can manipulate. Yeah, very much. It's power. It's very powerful. I remember learning about
Can you talk a little bit about that?
The power of art changing things.
Yeah.
There's propaganda. I remember learning in was it film school? It might have been my film class in high school that talked about it. It was this old silent black and white film called Birth of a Nation. And it showed the KKK as the heroes. And
this is a very classic film.
And once that happened, that group rose up. And it was because of that film. I mean, that's like a powerful thing that it could do. I mean, obviously that was not a good thing, but it's an example. Yeah. But, my favorite, it was actually a comment section on YouTube. I was watching movie trailers one night, and I watched this trailer for this film called Begin Again with Mark Ruffalo and Keira Knightley. I actually worked on that film for 2 weeks. And someone in a comment says that I love this film. I was going to kill myself, but I saw this and it gave me hope. And that for me just immediately made me realize, all right, maybe making films can save lives, and it 100% can because it's an escape for people. And it's also that communal feeling, which is why I think it's really sad that the cinema going experience is dying, because everyone could stream stuff at home, because it was so beautiful when I used to be able to go to the cinema. I mean, I still can. It's not like I can't, but back in the day, there was just more people there, and you're sitting there and you're feeling these things with everyone else, and it's a symbiotic experience you're having with complete...
Yeah, it's like you're going to the movies.
Complete strangers.
It's an experience.
It's complete strangers.
I love it.
I've always wanted to have a connection with someone on a personal level. I haven't been able to do that, but being in an audience, and feeling that communal thing is probably enough to, not enough, but a tiny bit to keep me going. So
keep you motivated in a way, right?
So that's what I love about it. And it's not just films, it's like art in general. I remember going to the Louvre last year and seeing the Mona Lisa for the first time. It's so overhyped. But I actually I stood there and stared at it and thought to myself, this is actually really cool. And I was actually getting emotionally affected by it. Meanwhile, behind the Mona Lisa, there's this massive other painting that's way more impressive. but because the Mona Lisa, and the only reason why the Mona Lisa got so popular was because it was stolen. I don't remember when it was stolen, but there was this whole thing where it got stolen. And then I remember that.
Wasn't there a movie even?
Was there? Probably. I don't know. But that's why it was popular. And then now, after that happened, there's a story behind it, talking about stories. That was a story attributed to that painting. And now it's this global thing that everybody knows about, and became, it surpassed, what it originally was. And I was standing there staring at it and being like, this is real. My eyes, the photons of light are bouncing off that painting and going into my eyeballs. I am feeling that painting. And it was pretty cool.
It's true. That's a really interesting point.
So yeah. Because a lot of people oftentimes say, if the Titanic didn't hit the iceberg, what would happen? Like, nothing. No one would care about it. So it would have just gotten decommissioned at some point, like the Olympic.
Like people would have forgotten it. Right. It was like the biggest.
Right, because Titanic had 3 sister ships. There's the Olympic and the Britannic. And the Olympic was the one that survived. And it got decommissioned and scrapped. There was no, big party afterwards. They didn't turn it into a museum, which they should have. But that's exactly what would have happened with the Titanic. But because it hit the iceberg, there was those stories. There was that tragedy. It became such a
So we're basically describing the secrets of public relations.
I don't know.
You hire a PR agency. The first thing they want you to do is to go do something crazy that'll get you attention.
I mean, that's kind of the way things are going now. With
what was that? Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, and all those, from the 90s. Remember, that's how they would get. That people used to say, if you want to get the media's attention for public, whatever. Yeah. It's just kind of.
Well, with social media now.
Sensationalism.
Yeah, exactly, and it's getting pretty crazy with social media, seeing like certain videos people post and people doing.
I'm so crazy done with social media almost
people
right
doing
now.
These ridiculous prank videos and showing off.
It's hard to tell what's going on, and then you go there and like Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. All the older people they're just like rehashing all the misinformation and everything. It's like, and the deep fakes and all this stuff, and I'm like, geez. But what are you gonna do? I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Getting crazier.
I just feel like the story that we're living through right now. God, I'm trying to think of when I think it was like around 2008 that I was saying, 2007, 2008, I was saying, we're going through this evolution of time, of humanity. Mm-hmm. And we're going through it like super fast. And if we could just hang on to this plank of wood that's in the middle of a storm in the ocean, the ones who can hang on somehow will survive. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we just have to try not to kill each other. That's I think it's called the Fermi paradox, where certain civilizations evolve to the point where they get so powerful that they end up destroying themselves. And like we're heading there, which is kind of scary. So, and that's kind of why they're saying there's no alien life out there, because they all destroyed themselves and we're just in the process of, I think that's called the Fermi paradox. And we just,
all these theories and philosophies.
But we have so much potential. How far are we advanced, as humans, we had our brains.
We're only using like a micro dot from our brain.
Right.
Everything else is just sitting there waiting.
Because we had the ability to imagine and plan for the future, and sort of in our minds plan for the future. And that's what separated
dreaming.
us, the dreams, you know, and eventually art.
I feel like it's the dreaming part that helps us conceptualize things in a way that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our inner storyteller in a way that, because you know this, right? Of course. And a lot of you guys who are listening, you know this, right? But we've all grown up from being tiny little babies.
Yes.
And grown up from there. But the one thing is that we understood the language before we could speak it.
Right.
And the way that the language was presented to us from the time we were babies was stories.
Yes.
And we understand and comprehend things as stories. And the first things that we do when we start to put a sentence together is we are forming a little bit of a story, because in our brains, while we're really, I don't know if you remember this, my memory is crazy weird that I remember sitting in a stroller.
Yeah, I remember things like that.
And having people talking to me and me going, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I understood you perfectly fine. Why didn't you understand what I just said?
Yes.
And so that whole thing, you know, we have been telling stories to communicate, and we've taken it for granted to the point to where it's like we just sort of assume we all do that, and we just don't realize it consciously, I think. And if we did, I think we would realize the power of the storytelling for all of us. Right. And I don't mean I mean story sharing more than telling, because we tell and then we listen. We also need to be heard. That's half of the benefit of the stories. Right. I mean, if no one, the stories exist if no one listens. Before we were here, there were all these stories, but we weren't here to share them.
Well, that's the thing. It's our ability to write and draw, to make it permanent, to language. There we go. That's how we were able to evolve past the other animals. You know, they're saying, you know, how smart dolphins are. You know, if you ever actually looked at a dolphin brain, it has it's I think larger than ours and has more of those wrinkly things. I don't know anything about neuro stuff about them. They're saying that dolphins weren't able to, you know, evolve as fast as, or like us, in a similar way like us, because they couldn't write, you know, and you know, store information in a physical way. We did that because we have, you know, hands and fingers and our minds.
Well, it has to do with our brains.
Yeah.
There's something in our brain that I remember in you know, we're talking about anthropology, the missing link between what happened to us that turned us into what we are today. And there was this thing, because so Neanderthals, right? They were artistic. They showed that they believed in spirituality in some way. Yeah. They kind of invented religion. They would bury their dead with their artifacts. Yeah. You know, it was that point, this little thing. And I remember seeing pictures of the brains, you know, how they would show the skulls and the brains and the things and all this stuff on the evolution. And there was like this one, there's this one little thing that this has humans of today that the previous ones didn't have. And that the Neanderthals just sort of disappeared, but they would have been a parallel species along with humans. Like, could you imagine that?
Alternate universe.
I mean, that's so awesome.
That would be cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? We could have been better people.
Or, I don't know.
Had we had that.
Yeah. Or we could have warred with each other, because that's human nature. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I just look at all the species and they're still there. They don't all kill each other.
Right,
but,
right.
It's more like us killing them.
Yeah.
Why they've disappeared.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm laughing, but it's sad. We laugh when it's sad, guys.
That's a coping mechanism, okay?
Yes, it is. I know that we talked about George Lucas and this museum and things like that. And coming back to the podcast, we've been missing out for a little while now. And so I wanted to bring our listeners back and let them know what we're doing and what we're up to and all these things. And I want to let them know again that, you're going to become a more often celebrity in the podcast as a guest. And I want to come around to this conversation again the next time we talk about some of these other things that they spoke to. They also, the mythology of storytelling, how stories shape the world, and I also want to bring the AI aspect that was touched on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about AI.
Yeah, I want to have a little bit of that conversation because AI is so evolving.
It's very controversial.
Yes, and it's also very controversial. I have no controversy with it. I have my own. I'm for the humanity of art. The thing about it that I have is the storytelling part and the art. It is all connected. And for me, I wrote a piece back on the Substack a long time ago because I was having the conversations about AI. And my concern was and it wasn't really a concern. It was more like, will it do this? Will AI write the history of humanity? Because it's online, and where is it going to get everything from online? And I'm like, do we want that though?
Right.
Because that would be complete. It would be a very generic story. It would be full of misinformation.
Well, it wouldn't have soul either. I mean, that's the most important part.
Yeah, it would have nothing. It would have nothing. And I'm not saying that history books are, these passionate written books or anything like that, but it would not touch on things that normal history books touch on.
Right.
And it wouldn't, and the misinformation that is online.
Oh, yeah.
As a source, I just don't think that would turn out to be. So my thing is we got to tell our own stories, and I want to end this particular episode on that note, at least, that we need to tell our own stories, the human stories. From our own human perspective, even if we're talking about telling stories about robots.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's being human. That's what makes us human. Us, our stories and interactions. A clanker is never going to be able to do that for you. You could program it to. But, and I love what Guillermo del Toro said, you can't make art with an app. It's... Yeah. And a lot of people call it tools also, and I'm trying to set my mindset to see it as a tool, because there are ways to use it beneficially that's not abusing it. And the issue is,
I think it has to do with the word.
Yeah.
Generating, creating. Right. Creating, creative is art, creativity, all that stuff. Generating just doesn't sound artistic to me.
No, not when you just type in something in. I mean, and you could even ask ChatGPT to write the prompt for you.
Right.
So
see?
The effort goes down rather than...
I'm not saying, I just want to make sure that people don't understand that what I'm saying and what we're saying is not oh, you're not an artist if you're using this. What we're saying is why do you need this? Because art is a process. And the process of making art is not about the result. So much.
Yeah, there's this hilarious video I saw online years ago, and it was a painter, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, but probably not, because this is what art should be. Every stroke, he was screaming. So every single time he painted a stroke, he screamed, so that anger was in each stroke. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, and that's kind of like modern art for you.
No,
but
it sounds like the thing about plants being alive, right?
But I mean,
that's
like the sort of human part about it, the experience of it, making a film or painting or writing a book. It's difficult. It's like they're delivering the ring to Mordor, and you have to go through the entire journey. And if you have ChatGPT being like an eagle that just picks you up and brings you there, you're not learning anything along the way. You're not meeting people. You're not experiencing things. You got to go through all the trials and tribulations. storytelling tells that, and we have to do that while we're trying to create storytelling, and it sucks, but that's but that's kind of the great part.
Justin, when it hurts, when it's uncomfortable, when you're like, what the?
Oh yeah.
What?
Doing a question.
What did I get myself into?
Your life's choices
and everything. And you walk, and then it's over, and you love it, and you're ready to do it again. Can we do it again next weekend? That is a feeling that you feel something special about yourself, right? You're going, this is insanity.
Right.
But it's not.
Right. Well, for me,
it's not insanity. It's on the edge of insanity where you find your real purpose.
Yeah. That's true. Because we have those adrenaline junkies up there skydiving and doing bungee jumping. They want to be at the edge to be able to feel alive. And as artists, it's in a sense a similar experience, being on the edge of mental collapse of why you're doing this and all that.
Actors will tell you
too. 100%. What actors go through. I have so much respect for actors. I could never do that. That's why I don't do that.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole I just found that to be a bit of a sign that people haven't been sleeping. They feel all these things. And being in that room, I don't know how many people fit in there. I mean, it was full, but
I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a number. Someone out there has I'm sure I could Google it if I wanted to, but whatever. AI will tell me.
I was going to say, ask ChatGPT.
But how many people fit in that room? But to hear the shouting and the happiness and the joy that everybody just like expressed at this message from them. Every section where they proved these messages, that every little thing that we just spoke about was so, like, I guess people feel this, like they'll go to some church or something, some big church somewhere and
religion.
Feel this.
That's
And that's why it's just very spiritual kind of feeling or something. I don't know. It was really magical, and to feel that, it felt
you had
like
that shared consciousness.
You felt confidence. Yeah, and you feel confident walking out. And I felt like they were talking about it in the room, and I was like, you just did it right here. You brought a community around the art of storytelling through the history of this visual storytelling museum that they put together. And they tell this and they share this with this message at this point in time right now. George Lucas had never been on a panel at Comic-Con before. At this moment in time, he was. And it was to share this museum along with this message that goes along with the museum. So we are at a very special time. And I feel like, it's time for us to talk more about this because people need to hear it. Artists need to hear it. Artists need to feel like if they don't want to use AI, if they don't want to do this thing, if they don't want to use a smartphone, if they don't want to use whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You've got one life to live. It's your time right now. It's your time to create something, and it's your time to create something that you will feel good you leave behind. What do you think? What's your message?
I don't know. That was pretty solid. I mean, it's
been a while, Justin.
It's been a while.
In the world
where you make art.
You do that so well.
Do I? I don't.
You did it in the last episode that we recorded.
Right. I think
and
it's
you
funny.
did it all over our film festival. And
that's my coping mechanism when I get anxious, I guess. I revert to trailer.
I did it at the grocery store the other day, just so you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and everybody laughed, down the aisle because I said it was something about the price of something, and I was like, in a world. And they all turned around. Yeah, and I did, and I was like,
I'm not that good at it, but
no, you really are good at it because it sticks with me, and you always come to mind when I do that now. And I'm like, Justin, stop it.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, but I want you to share a parting message.
Oh, gosh, pressure.
I mean, it's such a wholesome conversation that we've had.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's another thing about art. It's bringing people together, like your festival, meeting you and meeting all the filmmakers there. I told my friend about the festival, and I told her about one of the filmmakers, Ace. And I think he was such a wonderful person to be around. He was so positive, and I loved his energy.
Ace Howe. Give it up for Ace Howe.
And now my friend, I mean, he has an awesome name, by the way, but my friend just knows Ace. Yeah. And every single time I mention him, she's like, "Oh, Ace!" she's never even seen it. She doesn't even know what he looks like, But he's part of, in a way, her life, and that was through me, and that was because I went to your festival, and that was because of filmmaking and art and whatever. But that's
and because you're sharing the story of your experience.
Yeah, because we're all stories. The past is just a story we tell ourselves.
And you came with a film.
I did come with a film. Right?
I just think it's like so magical. I just think sometimes, like, a lot of film festivals do a lot of the same things, and every year I'm like thinking about it like in a new way. There are things that we do that we have to do. You know what I'm saying? And things that I want to keep traditional. Like the cosplayers and things like that. But there are new things. Like we did that lab session this year.
That was new? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I didn't do that before. I just let people do Q&As and do all these other sessions that they were doing and all this stuff. And I thought, wait a minute, I should do one about the future of mobile filmmaking. It's 2025.
Yeah.
And also because I wanted to bring this point forward about how important it is. Maybe we should end it with that. That we do connect as a community.
Yes, especially when everyone seems to be so divided nowadays.
And with social media the way it is.
Yeah.
I made a post on Threads. I know you're not on Threads, but I made a post of Threads, and I was like, follow the people and the companies that you trust, sign up for their newsletters, and see the people behind the art. See the human behind the art. Like, don't just look at art for art itself, like see the human. Because I think when you see when you're looking for the human, like the person, like what is it about this person that created this and why is this reflected? You know, I think that's when the story comes to life more evidently.
Yes.
So what we were trying to do in this session is to pull some people were saying when you need help, there's all this help that you can find on Google. And then we came back around to say, well, if you have community, you don't even need Google anymore.
Right.
Google is crap anyways right now. But it's like you don't really, because when you reach out to someone, you have a source, you have a community, you need help with something, and you reach out to people you trust, even if they can't help you, you're going to trust the people that they know that can help you.
Yeah.
Because they're trusted by these people. As opposed to going to Google and finding some random Joe,
right?
Right. And you're not going to find one, just so you know. You're going to find 3 million.
Exactly.
But you're only going to get the results from like 30 of them at the most in 3 pages, because they don't give you the results of all of them anymore.
I mean,
so anyway, that's the point.
In the end, having a human interaction with a human is very important.
Exactly. And then the support.
Yes. I mean, I was I was trying to work on a script, and it was my producer that convinced me to continue, because I was thinking, this has been done before, I'm not going to bother. But it was his words saying, don't, everyone's copied Shakespeare over and over again, just it's your own version of it. And I was like, all right, sure.
The Titanic.
Right. Romeo and Juliet. Right. That's how he pitched it. Romeo and Juliet on the ship. So yeah, even recently I was debating on doing a certain thing, and I did ask ChatGPT. I went there and I was questioning it, and then I said, no, I need a human response. So I then asked my therapist, and it's more comforting, obviously. Obviously when you're talking to a human, and.
Well, because they have their own perspective. In other words, when I say perspective, life experience, environment, things they think about, dreams, everything.
History. They have their lore and, their stories. And through that, they can
We humans are really complicated.
We are.
And a lot of times we don't understand ourselves, but sometimes
that's why there's therapy.
The best way... I spent a lot of time growing up challenging myself to not be scared of fire. And I achieved it. Now I can stick my hand in a fireplace and move the logs around.
Oh, I'm hoping you're not sticking your hand in fire. But
yeah, practically. Yeah. So the thing is, the one thing I've learned is like, don't be afraid to challenge yourself.
Yes.
And to think of yourself and to treat yourself as you would if you had a kid and you were teaching them something.
That was the big, I know we're supposed to end soon, but real quickly, when I went to your festival this past April, was it April? Anyways,
yeah,
it was a really big turning point in my life, I guess. I don't know how much I want to say about it, but I was trying to help myself, mentally, because I was very self-deprecative.
Oh, you so came to the right place.
I really hated myself so much, and I had all these issues, and I'm still working on it. It's not over. It's never. I don't know if it's ever going to be over, but it's constant help.
Yeah.
And after your festival, I went to LA with and spent some time with my friend, and let's just say we did a very therapeutic thing, and it helped me a lot. And
aww.
Yeah, and since then, I've been, reintegrating pretty much and trying to socialize more. And I'm pretty much saying a mantra every day to love myself and this and that. And it's been a great new chapter, I guess, to really, kind of just hate myself less. Because it's true. And my therapist used to tell me this, like, you're not going to scream at a child and tell them all these things about how terrible they are. Why are you doing it to yourself? Because we're so critical. I'm so critical of myself. I grew up, being really critical of myself, failing classes and sucking at math and never being good enough. I was never good enough and being lonely and no one wants me. But that's not true. I am worthy of love exactly as I am.
Yes, you are.
But filmmaking and art in general, that's what kept me going. That was the therapy, and that was the beauty of it, and the connection between people in our stories.
I'm going to say something here. Guillermo del Toro said, "Stories shape the world," and I'm going to say, your heart shapes your stories.
Yes, very much so.
And I'm saying that to you personally.
Oh, thank you.
Right here and right now. I guess it's not personal. I guess it's public. But I'm saying that to you because you could see the reflection of who you are in that film, in the story, through your characters and through the way you put the whole thing together. So...
Oh, well, thanks. Thank you very much. It means a lot.
And I think the reaction that you got at the film festival was just so epic.
It was nice.
Everybody loved you.
I really appreciated that.
And it was also reciprocal because you fell in love with everybody there too.
Yeah, everyone was great. All the films were great.
Yeah. So the message for everybody is, if you need therapy, come to the International Film Festival in San Diego.
Or make a film.
It's not really that. But explore yourself through your stories.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? And then connect with others. And, that's also, you were talking about social. I made a movie. I haven't dared to show it to anybody. Would you like to see it?
Yeah, you did? Oh,
no,
okay.
I mean,
that was hypothetical.
I guess I act a little too well sometimes, but basically that's a way of approaching people. If you have a smartphone, make a little film, and hey.
I mean,
because people love stuff like that.
It helped me. I mean, when I was in high school, I had to do, filming things for like filming school events. And I was anxious to go to them. But once I was behind the camera and I had headphones on, it was that separation that helped me. So I really appreciate that.
So anyways, guys, make your movies. By the way, we're open for submissions right now for the films.
I submit. It's great. There's a dog park nearby. So if you're into dogs, definitely come.
He's talking about the film festival.
Yeah. At the film festival in San Diego, there's a dog park nearby the venue. Yeah. and there's dogs. So,
Yeah, and there's dogs, there's water, there's
water,
boats, there's pizza, there's fish and tacos.
Yeah, there's tacos.
Guys, I feel like we've been saying goodbye for an hour now, but quite honestly, it's good to be back on the podcast. I look forward to you sharing it, listening to it. And I have to say, I'm going to leave this link for the video of George Lucas and all of that for this panel. So you guys can watch it also. And the other link that I'm going to leave in is for this community. If you want to sign up and join up and be a part of this community, Justin is a part of it. He signed up. We'll put that link there. And then we'll also, Justin, one last thing. People have been asking me, because I keep talking about your movie, when are we going to do a streaming thing? What are we doing? Because people want to see it online.
Right. Yeah, that's the plan. It'll definitely be streaming somewhere. But it has to finish its festival run. So
So when's that over? At the end of the year, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Barcelona one's going to be the last one. And then, but there might be one after. I don't know though. But by the end of the year, for sure, it'll be done with festivals, and then it's on to wherever it's streaming. So who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But it'll be streaming definitely somewhere. I'll let you know. Obviously.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, because people are asking, they want to see the film. And I want them to see it. Thanks. Like, I want people to get inspired when they watch your film. It's awesome. It's called Broken Pieces. And it's a feature film. It won. And just give them a little bit of a synopsis really quick and before we go.
Oh, okay. Synopsis. 5 people in New York City going through issues throughout the day, and they suddenly cross paths with each other. And yeah.
Yeah. And there's a big chase scene.
There's a chase scene.
Yeah. It's like if you have a shark movie and there's a dog attack. Yeah. It's like we just got to talk about that.
There is a dog in the film, very, very briefly.
Guys, please, if you need help with the film festivals, missions, or anything like that, I'm here for you. Just send me a message. And one last thing. Say goodbye to our listeners.
Oh.
Justin.
Adios, amigos.